So we were at this topic of unification of the being, and we were exploring last time what does it mean to unify myself with the divine. So the divine means truth, freedom, peace, love, beauty, expansion, perfection. So we had created this word web where we were exploring. So if I have this aspiration that I want to unite myself in thought, feeling, action with the divine, what does it mean for me practically? So if there is a thought which I notice is not a nice thought, it's an ugly thought, so then since I know divine for me means beauty, harmony, light, love, so can I move that thought towards that direction of purity and harmony? So like as if there's a light of consciousness which we all have, and through that, in front of that, everything is passing through, like thoughts, feelings, sense perceptions, the interpretations of the mind. And if they are not in proper order, I put them in the right order. So this is what is happening. So we were discussing this, that this is what it means when we say I am putting all the thoughts, feelings, actions under the influence of psychic being, which is this presence of the divine in all of us. So keep sharing as anyone wants to share anything. Keep unmuting and sharing. And I thought we'll have a little overlap because there's so much richness that it's always good to. And last time I was not able to put it on slide. So today at least I have a couple of slides which a few of us can read aloud for all of us. So if one of you can, maybe if this is clear enough, read this from the mother on unification. So please unmute, and if you can read aloud.
Yeah, Monica, I'll read.
Yeah, please go ahead, Shardaji.
Yeah. For if we truly want to progress and acquire the capacity of knowing the truth of our being, that is to say, what we are truly created for, what we can call our mission upon earth, then we must, in a very regular and constant manner, reject from us or eliminate in us whatever contradicts the truth of our existence, whatever is opposed to it. In this way, little by little, all the parts, all the elements of our being can be organized into a homogeneous whole around our psychic center. This work of unification requires much time to be brought to some degree of perfection. Therefore, in order to accomplish it, we must arm ourselves with patience and endurance. Now, Monica, I'll read the first para again. This, if you
Please,
don't
please
mind.
do. Yeah, please do.
Yes. For if we truly want to progress and acquire the capacity of knowing the truth of our being, that is to say, what we are truly created for, what we can call our mission upon earth, then we must, in a very regular and constant manner, reject from us or eliminate in us whatever contradicts the truth of our existence, whatever is opposed to it. So here, Monica, I want to just clarify whatever contradicts the truth of our existence means the negative thoughts. Can we take it as negative thoughts? Whatever opposed to
Yes,
it.
I think you can as well take it as negative thoughts or anything which is disturbing, as you said, negative or disturbing, or which creates a certain unease in the being.
Okay, okay.
Because whenever we say something hurtful by a manner of tendency that you are habituated to use a rude tone or anything, so
Okay.
whenever I say that, in a moment, 2 minutes afterwards, I think that no, that was not nice, something was not right.
Yeah.
So that was not in alignment with the truth of my being, for example. Yeah.
So I just want to share experience of yesterday, because yesterday it was in Bangalore it was thunderstorm and lot of rain. So it was very disturbing at 11 o'clock. My husband was traveling. He was coming back from Kolhapur. So I was just standing in front of the mother and I was just going to bed. So in that time, when I heard this thunderstorm, my mind was not very calm and peaceful. It started jumping from here to there. I know very well that I should not think anything negative, but still out of my control, my mind was going, hopping, jumping, and all. Then I realized, boy, see, I was imagining, see, flight will land, and when he comes out, there will be a lot of traffic jam, and rain water will be on the road. How will we reach home? All these series of negative thoughts, I was laughing at myself. What is this? How can we think so many things continuously negative? It was coming like one wave, one lead to other, one lead to other. One of the workshops you mentioned, it is like a chain, so hooked upon one thing, hooked upon the other thing. So I was just standing and I smiled at myself. Then I told the mother, see how I'm thinking. See, till the time I was okay. I know that it is raining, it is okay, it's nature, we cannot do anything. And continuously it happened for 2 minutes, but in 2 minutes some 2000 thoughts came. So after that I just stepped myself back. Then I told the mother, this is not nice. I should not think all this. Then I did one pranam and went to bed. Within half an hour, 45 minutes, my husband came back home. But I that time I was feeling, you see, all these thoughts are making me so uncomfortable. So I was thinking, see, without these thoughts, how nice it would have been, no? I'll just do one pranam and say good night to the mother and go and sleep. That was nice, no? Why can't I do that? Why all these thoughts come and disturb me? Maybe I am also open to the thoughts. That is why it is coming. I thought everything to myself and went to bed. See, when I read that, that's why I read it again. So it makes lot of meaning, no? For me, I took negative thoughts. Can you please share the screen again? I'll read once again. Yeah. So reject from us or eliminate in us whatever contradicts the truth of our existence, whatever is opposed to it. Yeah, I got it that way. See, without that, how nice it would have been. But everything contradictory things I didn't follow. I wanted to feel comfortable, but all these thoughts came. It contradicted me. And I was not very peaceful and calm. So if we eliminate these small things from us, definitely we will be able to unify with the divine. That is what I felt. See, every time I will share some of my stupidity. Please don't mind.
We really benefit from your stupidity, Sharda ji. We can correlate with our stupidities. So,
Okay.
thank you.
I have some story for every session.
Yeah, that's always good and welcome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Yeah, Taru, you wanted to share?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I'd unmuted at that time, but now that I have been given this opportunity, I'll go ahead. So I too was in a thunderstorm yesterday evening, and I was in a cafe in the foothills of some hill, and the amount of lightning was just too much. Like that was happening. So I've had some history with lightning, like some events had happened. So yesterday, for the first time, I felt kind of a kind of an anxiety crop into me, like it was trying to come in. That push it, there again, okay, there again, okay, there again, kind like pretty bad hudder kinds. And there was something in me, which wanted to say, okay, let's sit inside. Let's sit inside. And then I was like, okay, and tell me why. And it was like the last time you remember what happened. And then it was, like a conversation with myself. Yes, tell me what happened. And how often do you hear it? And if something like that, something so bizarre could happen, if it has to happen, it will. happen. So like Sadhji was saying, how nice it would be without the absence of it. But I realized yesterday that because I was not involved in the conversations that were happening on the table, which were of not much interest to me anyways, this conversation I found to be really interesting. That there are things you fear and you work on them, and there are things like this, they just crop in. They want to come and they want to establish something or the other, and obviously doesn't have anything in it, right? It just probably the fear, it feels good when more people, I think, are experiencing it. I don't know what else I can say. So just to question that while it's trying to come in, कि हाँ क्यों डरूं, right? क्योंकि if it has to fall on me, it will fall, and it doesn't have to be lightning. This fan can fall, this light can fall, right? Like, why do I have to live my patterns and then justify? And stupid thoughts like, it's happened to you once, so you're probably affinitive, it's attracted to you. It was ऐसे नहीं होता कि हाँ हाँ और like, give me more, I'm here and I'm listening. So it was interesting to see that part. And when on the paragraph, I mean, actually that's what I wanted to share and not this incident. But about the this, whatever contradicts the truth of our existence. Like, I have a very lovely live example to share. Like, I am right now at my in-laws, and how, not, I don't know if in a sense, how you feel that you have to be something other than yourself, when you are expected to be a certain way around certain people. Even if there are no clear expectations, there still is. So since yesterday, I don't know, I am being so clumsy at dropping this, doing this, the regular stuff which I don't know, if I'm pouring myself a glass of water, I'm overfilling it and it's going here, and I'm just wondering at myself that what is this happening? I'm trying to be better, more polished, and I'm being more clumsy. So then it was like as if, the universe is laughing at me. Yeah, try harder. So few of those incidents happen. And just before I was joining the session, again, I was doing something and I dropped half the thing. So since yesterday, what I was trying to do was to cover up, that kisi ko, kind of say, so that I can just wipe off the evidence. What am I doing? So today when it happened, I just started laughing, and then everybody said, "What happened?" I said, "I dropped this again," and they were like, "Okay," and they were like, "Why am I even laughing or reacting?" But it was nice to just be okay with how things are. गिर गया तो गिर गया. अच्छा, अगर चौथी बार भी गिर गया तो गिर गया. What am I trying to be, and who am I trying to pretend, and why do I need to pretend? But it's like one has to be very mindful, because these things, they just under the carpet, this not under the carpet, like through the undercurrents, they just want to seep in and try to make you what you would not be if you are mindful. Matlab, yeah, I think, sorry, a very long examples and experiences. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah. तो ये मदर जो कहती है ना, that we don't need any outer entertainment, so we have a circus going on within. I think it's so true. And it's we don't have, actually we don't need all the Netflix series and what people watch, entertainment. I think it was very beautiful what starting with Sharda ji, what she was sharing, that this was a happening of 2 minutes, and that she was able to observe herself getting distracted, and just this ability to know the content of your thoughts while you are getting distracted. Parallelly, you are also knowing that I am getting distracted. It's not a small thing. No, it's not a small thing, because usually when we are distracted, we are just distracted. Nothing knows in me that I am distracted. So this is a beautiful step ahead, as Mother says, in the growth of consciousness, that now there is a little part of me which knows that the distraction is happening. So uh, we can clap, or Sharda ji can pat herself on the back for that parallel consciousness. Yeah. While you are being stupid, you know that you are being stupid, so that's a great thing, great achievement. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And it also shows me that this is not a regular state of being for me, because ease has progressed much and my life is more ease now and less of unease. जैसे दाल में काला दिख जाता है ना, so it's almost like that I'm now capable of seeing the kala in the dal. Earlier everything was kala, so no awareness, nothing. Now there are more expanses of ease, and so whenever, even for 2 minutes, the unease props up, which will keep on propping up, I'm aware and I notice, and I can again offer it, and it can transform. So it's a beautiful baby step on the path, I feel.
So maybe if we progress in this way, even see, now we have come to the stage of finding out that I am not at my ease. But when we come with, we always be with the ease. When we don't have these type of contradictions in us, definitely it will be great. But we don't know when. Maybe in this janma or next janma we will have that.
And
If it comes sooner, it will be easy. Yeah.
yes, but Sarda ji, imagine a life which is all perfect. A bit boring. So a bit of entertainment हमको भी चाहिए, थोड़ा सा.
Oh,
So I think that's why imperfection is there, because moving from imperfection towards a better perfection, and a perfection which we can never reach. Imagine, that's why we say that divine is infinite, perfection is infinite, because I can never reach it. Oh, matlab, on one hand, it can be, for a person, it can be very disappointing. Oh, I would never reach it. So what's the fun? For people who are truly walking it and enjoying the walk, they would say, oh wow, then I can keep walking. And it's so fun. It's fun actually to walk, no matter of all, with all the pains and sufferings that we have. Even then, to recognize the circus in us and to transform and transmute, to know that I don't know how to love, and to expand my heart, open my heart, I think there is a joy in this progress. And if everything would be perfect, where is the joy? I'm sure we will reach, as you were sharing, that stage also. But for now, I think it's only. हाँ, अभी 5 मिनट दीजिए मेरे को. Just a second. I lost the thread. Yeah, so the joy of walking the path. Yeah, I was at that. So I think, yeah, beautiful, whatever is the journey. And as you were sharing, the whether in this lifetime we will reach the perfection when everything is fully divine, and these ripples of unease are not there. I'm sure that stage is also to reach. We will reach that. But even this one is joy. We see the joy in progress. So that's what I, yeah, wanted to share. So, regarding what Taru you were sharing, ये जो मदर कहती है ना कि एज इफ कि आपने एक स्टोन रखा हुआ है, बहुत बड़ा रॉक और स्टोन, एंड इफ यू रिमूव इट आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, you see many little creepy crawly creatures, something like that, coming out. So I think it's beautiful to see this background chatter of thoughts that goes on, because the stone of unconsciousness now has been lifted, that you are conscious of that chatter. So the big rock of unconsciousness has been lifted. The light of consciousness is put on it, and now you see the swarm, like wriggly, creepy creatures that is there, which most of the time, I would say, most of the time, all of the time, it is just totally unnecessary garbage, unnecessary garbage. But I think if we don't look at it then it can just stay there. But once the light of consciousness has such a power, which we call the mother's light, that the moment I look at it, as you were sharing that this self talk with myself, the moment I look at it, then it cannot hide anywhere. And in that act of looking itself, it gets transformed. So I think that was also very beautiful what you were sharing, that one can just laugh and amuse oneself. So much is going on, the patterns of thought, this unnecessary chatter. And also to reject this, to reject this, as mother is sharing in this paragraph, we'll take it up again. So this one, yeah, eliminate, reject. So this part. Now that I see that unease is not a part of my being, I love to be in ease. So whatever makes me uneasy, the ripple that makes me uneasy, the moment I become conscious of that ripple and don't pay attention to the following of its dictates, what it wants me to do, I think there really something remarkable happens, because I am allowing it to be. I'm not saying, why are you here? Oh, you are here. I recognize you, I validate your presence. And then you can be here, but I don't have to listen to your dictates. Anand, please, I'll come in 10 minutes. Please, pakdo. So this elimination and rejection, I think this is beautiful. And with elimination, I think, although it appears like I am rejecting, but it's not like that. I feel that it's like a spider on my wall. I see it and I say, okay, you are there and you can be here. But a part of me knows where I want to be. So I don't have to listen to the dictates of the spider, and that is what I mean by elimination or rejection. Elimination and rejection doesn't mean that I am saying, oh spider, why are you here? Why are you here? Not like that. It's just, okay, you are here, but I am free to follow what appears right to me. Yes, Taru.
I just wanted to say that while you were there, this word eliminate, I felt that, I was constantly, a voice was saying, "Ki going inside would just be easier, right? This dialogue doesn't have to happen. And that is also can be considered an elimination, right? But that is not elimination, that is just temporary. You just, remove yourself from the situation. So again, it's right there. But once in a more constant way, with a more, I would say, with more, I don't know, sincerity, or, with more attention rather, not sincerity. If one looks at it, it's not that these things stop coming, but slow, you are able to get the hang of it better. Like it's like sometimes it can even begin with a funny thing and not a serious thing that you would even consider. So again, so just to be careful about what rejection or elimination can mean and what we want it to mean. Yeah.
So just going through it again, for if we truly want to progress and acquire the capacity of knowing the truth of our being, that is to say, what we are truly created for. I think this, for me, I feel it's very, very important, because it puts everything in its proper place. So when I know that my mission being a human being is expansion of consciousness and realization of myself, once I know this, then every happening is very secondary in front of that. That happening may be anything, which may appear socially very cruel, which we consider for breaking of relationships, losing of loved ones, we consider these happenings very, very cruel. Accidents, really very cruel things happening, right? And then we say, oh, why divine is so cruel? But we don't realize that the state of ignorance we are in at the moment, we need such kind of jhatkas, if we can say, so that we open ourselves to the light which hides within us. So if this is like set in front of me that, okay, what is my purpose being here as a human being? Growth of consciousness, knowing who I truly am. In front of that, every experience is secondary. Nothing is too big. So what we are truly created for, what we can call our mission, this is our mission upon earth, then we must, in a very regular and constant manner, once I know this, the radar is set, like the compass is set, reject from us, eliminate in us whatever contradicts the truth of our existence. This would also mean that noticing whenever I feel constricted, because there are actions that I do which make me very limited. I feel so limited self and suffocated, like this little being trying to protect myself. So that limitedness is contradictory to the limitlessness that we are. So in the moment when I recognize the suffocation and the limitedness, what am I doing? Where am I going? Can I become conscious of it and take the right action? And if for example, if I am feeling very greedy, obsessive because of a chocolate or anything that I like, and that last piece, as Tenzing Palmo I think was sharing this example, that I want the last piece for myself. The moment I feel this constriction, that how cheap of me, for example, the moment I feel this constriction, I immediately, if there are people around, I say, okay, take this, offer it, and feel the expanse that happens in the heart immediately. For example, somebody comes begging at the door while you are in the car, and you hardly have anything, but the last thing that you have, you say, okay, I want to give this away, and feel the expanse of your heart. So doing things which are contradictory to the limitedness and the suffocation that we again and again confine ourselves into, doing the opposite of that. So this is the first one. In this way, little by little, so the moment we become conscious and then we change, transform, transmute, in this way, little by little, all the parts, all the elements of our being can be organized into a homogeneous, is a scientific term, where you make a mixture which is very smooth, like a smoothie. You blend ingredients, so it has a consistent texture. So if I take a spoon from the bottom, it's the same. If I take a spoon from the top, it's the same. That's what we call homogeneous. So it's all the same, all alike. So in this way, we can be organized into a homogeneous whole around our psychic center. So every single thought in me, every single action that I take, every single movement, ripple, action, feeling, thought, consider everything, that is following the light of this expanse, the light of this love, harmony, oneness with each other, goodness of the heart. And that's what we call call when mother says arranging around the psychic center. This is the psychic center, the expanse of our being, the lightness of the heart, the joy, non-separativeness, non-divisiveness. And this is a possibility, this is in life, in this life, very soon, like we begin to take baby steps, and very soon we begin to see these changes in ourselves. So this is what psychic center is doing. Everything is passing through that radar or scan, like you're scanning things under the psychic center. Okay, does it make me limited? Does it make me feel expansive? So you're checking, every thought is being checked. This work of unification requires much time to be brought to some degree of perfection. Like every skill, we are as if we are acquiring a skill. Therefore, in order to accomplish it, we must arm ourselves with patience and endurance. Because we will fall weak again and again. And in the coming slides, it would come that the moment we fall weak, we can offer the weakness to the mother. That mother, ये वाली चीज हो नहीं रही है, but करना चाहते हैं, intention है. intention is there, but at the moment strength थोड़ी कम feel हो रही है. But I know you are all powerful. You can do it. Like the other day we were talking in, I think, Friday study circle, that I know I feel helpless, but you are all powerful. So I give this to you. Please, take me forward. So anything anyone wants to add on here? So we can go on. So usually we are living in pieces, as we all would be aware of. Like this part is wanting that part is wanting the other thing. So we don't know what my mind wants. We don't know what the heart wants. What is the heart? What is the mind? I have no clue. Confused, a kind of a confused mixture. So mother shares on how we usually live. So if anyone would like to go through this for all of us.
Yeah, I'll read.
Yeah.
How we normally live in pieces, ununified. We are formed of all kinds of different pieces. They become active one after another. According to the part that is active, one is quite another person, becomes almost another personality. For instance, one had an aspiration at first, felt that everything existed only for the divine. Then something happens, somebody comes along, one has to do something, and everything disappears. One tries to recall the experience, and not even the memory remains. The mother.
Thank you. So this can happen on the path. This I have experienced this myself also, that you are living as if uh, this one, the second half that mother shares. For instance, one had an aspiration that at first felt that everything existed only for the divine. So you are existing for the divine, you are progressing towards that only. But then you get so lost that you don't even know what was the starting aspiration. This can happen, and it happens for good, I feel, uh, because it makes me conscious of my own contradictory parts and pieces. So the beauty is that if we will follow a direction which is not suitable, it will very soon take us to suffering, and that's a fail safe mechanism. I feel that I can't go much longer in a direction which is not good for me, right? So this, I feel that it's a blessing. uh, what I personally have received from suffering is more than, I would say that it's better that the suffering would not exist. I feel that the way I am right now, the suffering is needed because I again and again get lost. And whenever I lose track, suffering comes sooner or later, so that it tells me wrong track, something like that, like a signal, beep beep, and you get back to the track again. So I think this is very important realization, that first of all, the understanding that we are in bits and pieces. Secondly, also the earlier part that we shared, that it is possible to make it homogeneous. We don't have to exist a whole lifetime in bits and pieces. That's not our higher possibility. That we can make it homogeneous once we have suffered enough.
Yeah, just a small thing. I've also seen that lot of times this, when we change or when our likings change, we take it as a negative thing, right? Like, say, I like, there was a time that I used to love Bollywood songs, right? Now I can't stand them. So for me, I was like, oh, that's great, right? And she was saying it with a sadness, right? Like, I've lost something that used to give me joy. But we need to also see that what I lost was I mean, उसकी औकात क्या है यार? Where is it? What was it? Was it good or bad? And is this a happy thing or a thing that I need to be sad about? And this has not happened to me once. It has happened several times. And I remember even once, like with my one of my siblings, it happened like probably they said something, I reacted in one way and I said, this is what I like. After probably, I don't know, months again, something was said to me and I said something different. And they were like that, but you said you like it like this. And suddenly I felt sorry. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Maybe I said it. But then I was like, wait a second. I was like, yes, probably then I thought that is what I wanted. And right now, when I'm seeing it with a fresh view, this seems okay. So it was like, ऐसा नहीं होता है, you have to stick to something, that sort of things that we get, but we don't have to agree. Like, it's okay, but yeah, so just that.
Yeah, that resonates, yes. I think usually जो होता है ना, usually the way we live in this short lifespan of 70 70 to 80, there are three more adults at home. One should know. But all
I
of
think
them
you
are.
should give him a screen today and make him come for the session. उसको भी
No, actually, all of them are
लगा दो.
sleeping,
Then
so
he
they
will be
have.
more curious. Oh,
Yeah, sorry. So I was sharing that this short lifespan of 70, 80 years that I have, it feels like वही है ना, हमको certainty चाहिए, everywhere we are looking for this ground. तो हमें लगता है कि एक एक बंदे ने अगर ये कह दिया तो उसी पे आप टिका रहे, so that becomes your ground. But I feel that there is so much beauty if in this short span of time, 70, 80 years max, if one can say, one undergoes a rapid progression that one can't even realize that, oh my god, was it this lifetime, that I behaved like this. So I think that's really beautiful, because I at times also have this I get a feeling that when I look at my past, I feel that I can't recognize or relate with the person who I was, and as if that there is no relation. And I feel that as if I have lived several lifetimes in one lifetime. So I feel this gives me a lot of expansion, that this is a possibility that we don't have to stick to our older selves if now I see more light. As you were sharing, that if my stand has changed, it has changed, so accepting that. Yeah. Okay, so Mother shares here that striving for unification, the effort that we make towards unification, gives a new purpose to life, and it gives a different quality. Life becomes very rich, no matter whether you are in a place where there is more loneliness, people not around, you are all by yourself. Even then, you are looking at your thoughts, feelings, passing through this light. And whether you are in the crowd, looking at your own triggers and inner ripples. So it doesn't matter wherever you are. Once you have beginning to have this inner life, then everything has a different direction and a different fullness and richness, that um, you never have no purpose in life. There is always a purpose of this unification. So Mother says that if you organize everything, what we were just discussing, your feelings, your thoughts, impulses around this psychic center, which is the inner light, you will see that all inner disorder will change into a luminous order. I think this is a remarkable possibility that has been given to us. That first noticing that I am confused, first noticing that I am a mixture, and when I am ready, when I am willing, then to put it in the right tuck 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 tuck, like sorting out all the garbage, transforming, transmuting the garbage, and keeping only the things that are beneficial. So this, just like we feel so happy when we organize our homes, for example, those of us who like to do that, we clean up, we dust, we give away the things that we don't want, and we keep only the things that we really truly are using. It gives a very neat and clean and tidy spaciousness to us in our lives. So just like that, when we do this continuous constant attempt or effort at inner cleaning, you know putting away whatever is not necessary, transforming things which can be transformed, keeping only those thoughts, feelings which are in alignment with my inner light, I think that really brightens up our day. So it puts inner disorder changes into a luminous order, a order full of light, where nothing is hidden from you, nothing is behaving like a shadow. And even dreams, I feel that dreams also change, the quality of dreams changes if we do it consciously in the daytime. Then subconscious cleaning also happens, and the kind of dreams that we get, they are a beautiful indicator of the daytime work I do with myself inwardly. So for this work of unification, the author, which the workbook that we are referring to, he says, you will have to leave the beaten track, the track which is very effortless for us, just like Shardaji was sharing, this negative pattern comes very effortlessly. This is our beaten track. We have walked on this again and again, again and again. It's very effortless for us to walk on that path. Ill will, which comes very naturally. We don't have to do anything about it. Judgments about people, opinions, in our heads. So we will have to leave the beaten track, the track on which I have walked for long, and will have to be willing to change a lot. So many a times we will face resistance ki, but ye kyun change karu, are theek hi to hai. But then you see that in the light of consciousness, it's not proper, it's not now serving you well, time to change it. So we will have to go through that resistance that we go through in the beginning to grow ourselves in greater light, to grow more expensive. In difficult times, you can admit your weakness to the mother and ask for help and strength. So knowing that there will be challenges on the way, but if I am ready, then of course, I'm ready to go through all the weakness or trouble or tribulations on the path. Courage to rely upon the divine is actually the most marvelous protection. So knowing that the mother is all powerful, and if I am incapable, I am incapacitated, I know mother will guide. So having that solid faith, unshakable faith, just like we have from our parents or elder siblings, that if nobody is there, that person is there, who I can ask without any unease. So that kind of a hak se mangna, it's our right to ask the mother. Like a child, we can do that. So these are just a few points which, can you tell me where is the... Okay, Anand, रखो इसको, आ जाओ यहीं पे, आ जाओ, मैं आती हूँ अभी. So these were these little points which I was just kind of copying from this workbook. This is what we have been sharing for the work of unification, to become conscious of what you think, feel, and do. So everything is happening in the light of consciousness. So even if I act stupid or I act mean at times, I know that I am acting mean. So that's the first step. Right now, I have not stopped acting mean, but now I know. Right? So that's the first step, that the light of consciousness illuminates that part. To step back. Now, when I see, it creates a kind of a breathing space in between the happening and the light of consciousness. So in this breathing space, I can step back. I can choose not to follow the dictate of the previous tendency that I have been used to follow. So to step back whenever we find ourselves tied to surface nature. So a bit of slowing down and not uh, taking actions too much in a rush, which we are usually uh, used to. For the process of unification, you must try to shift consciousness within and live there permanently. We were talking, and I feel that this is very important. That uh, rather than the outer happening, the inner world becomes more concrete. That takes more prominence than the outer happening. So outer happening can just be called as, it's like a big screen of trigger, whether it comes from my family, my in-laws, my children, it doesn't matter, it's a trigger. Now as a result of a trigger, what takes place in my being is my area of work. And if I focus more on noticing and becoming conscious of the inner ripples and working with them, transforming them, transmuting them, there is the true life happening. And then the outer also changes. As a result of the inner change, the outer also shifts. But my focus is the inward shift. So these are just little pointers towards unification. Just let me see if there is anything else I left. Yeah, so I'll just read it out with the part that I was not able to write. If you start observing yourself while being connected to your innermost being, you will start to distinguish what is in harmony with the innermost truth and what is not. So this is what we were talking in the beginning, sensing that unease, knowing what just happened. Why was that ripple happening? So going to the root of that and using every ripple as an opportunity to go deeper and deeper to the roots of that ripple. That's my possibility. So I'll read the sentence again. If you start observing yourself while being connected to your innermost being, the being of consciousness, the being of light, you will start to distinguish what is in harmony with the innermost truth and what is not. In this way, you can learn to take your decisions consciously from the highest or deepest level. If you are fully connected with your psychic being, it is not you, but the divine in you who takes the decisions. So, this answers a very important question actually when we talk about how to follow the divine will. So, it almost gives me a clue to that. This is how we follow the divine will. So, a part of me remains mindful and a bit detached from the surface happening, and then I'm guided so as to what to do. Yes, Shweta, you wanted to share something?
No, no, I just wanted to know the page number, what you read now. Yes?
Yeah, so this was 116.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this, in other words, this can also be related with what Thich Nhat Hanh would say, being mindful. So if I am mindful and the pain is also parallelly there, pain is there and I am mindful of the pain. So he says that this mindfulness generates, which is rooted in the present moment, it generates a very intense vibration, like an all powerful vibration, which envelops the little vibration of pain. And then I can take the right decision or go to the root of pain, or whatever is necessary. So it's almost hinting towards that this connectedness with the present moment or the rootedness in the inner being brings with it the power of conscious control. You check the things that are not in harmony with the inner truths of your being. You start to have control over your thoughts. So you may have thoughts of ill will, but now you have suffered enough and now you see that, okay, this is not good, this appears to be right. So you are ready to let go of the ill will because you have suffered enough, right? So you start having control over your thoughts, feelings, and impulses that are not in harmony with the truth. So this is how we walk on the path of self mastery, as Mother says, that mastering yourself. Finally, it will be the divine in you who decides and who will guide all your thoughts, feelings, impulses, and physical movements. When this is so, the process of unification has been completed. So slowly we completely are under the influence of that inner light, and now this becomes effortless. Earlier following my tendencies was effortless, and now this is effortless because I am putting effort and walking this off beaten track.
So, Monica, I have one question. Like हम बार बार ये भी तो बोलते हैं कि till the last breath, ego से बचना है. Now, this process of unification seems like, yeah. So now you are leading, with your psychic being, your higher self. So वो एक मतलब once you reach unification and you allow your higher self to, like lead you, फिर भी तो it's not a final thing ना, मतलब वो तो जब तक है you can again go, it will be back and forth only ना फिर भी.
Yeah, I think we go back and forth for a long time, and which is okay. But just like earlier, for us, following our tendencies was not back and forth. We were very happily following our tendencies, effortlessly, right? So there, just like if we go forward in this movement of first following our tendencies effortlessly, now becoming conscious of them and stepping back from them, again and again also falling back to the tendencies, so back and forth, as you were saying, right? So it's not the goodwill that prevails in me all the time, but say 50% of the time goodwill prevails, right? So again I go back and forth. Slowly this habit forms, and nothing in me now wants the ill will to persist. So the good heart or the goodness of the being or psychic being, that becomes effortless. And the moments, something I do by a matter of attachment or unconsciousness, the moment I do anything as a matter of habit, which is not the right thing to do, unease is felt and immediately it gets corrected. So the time needed for correction also changes. But as you said very rightly, I feel that, as because even we have seen people who have had great siddhis, powers, and they have also gotten lost, and felt kind of trapped in their personality. So this can happen, and that's why we need to be very grounded and very vigilant. So what you are saying, I resonate with that, that as long as Kabirji says that as long as we have the human form, it's impossible for the ego to completely vanish, especially the physical ego, that this is me, how dare you touch it. This so hard to let go, the physical ego also. So forget about the physical ego, which is the last thing to change, but even mental, emotional ego, it's a long process. I resonate with that. But it's just the matter of thing that goodness becomes more effortless. So I now am so used to living a simple and light life that I don't want to make things complicated by my manipulations and hidden agendas.
I think those manipulations and those things would still present themselves like in different ways, because this says now finally it will be the divine in you who decides and who will guide all your thoughts, feelings, impulses, and physical movements. When this is so, the process of unification has been completed, it says. So that's why I had this doubt कि if it's completed, तो पता नहीं मतलब how it works then.
Yeah, long process. And even maybe if he would have written time, it would count to lifetimes of a journey, right? So yeah. And what is lifetimes in eternity? It's nothing. So even if we look at time, which is relative, uh, many lifetimes in eternity is nothing. So we can just continue walking.
And to think that again, psychic being is so faint and gentle that matlab, though like you have now developed an awareness that you lead with your psychic being, but also being so gentle and faint, in its nature. I think that is why this thing happens again, कि ego से बच के रहना है वाला thing.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, this is one of the hints that they give, that for example, how to distinguish between desire and aspiration. So aspiration is this part of the psychic, and how to distinguish desire is always full of aggression and agitation.
Also disappointment, na?
Disappointment also.
Yeah.
So it will make itself very loud. Aspiration is not loud. It would not use a mic, if it wants to be heard. It would not shout. It would be just there and persistently there, like gentle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you still come back to your ego, it will not feel disappointed. As aspiration is that, okay, one more time, then
Yes.
it's aspiration. Otherwise it's just a desire. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this we also, I feel that with mothers, since mother and child relationship is a good example, with mothers, others in the house may give up on a child. I feel a mother would never give up.
Mm-hmm.
She says that no, abhi bhi possible hai, we can change this. And this we see with, for example, Savitri Satyavan, that we were sharing that day in Friday study circle. So Savitri keh rahi hai, no, it's possible, I will bring Satyavan to life. How is it not? So it's a intense aspiration, persistent, and yet not very aggressive and violent, not agitate, like calm and persistent. And yet this can be done. Yes, this can
Full
be
of
done.
faith. Yeah.
Faith, yes, faith. So anything, anyone?
And when you were saying these words, this certainty also was coming to me along with it. This thing that aspiration is not often loud, right? And I think that's something I feel is the thing that slows it down, because it feels very gentle and slow. So they say na, light the fire of aspiration, as in you have to keep poking it. Okay, as in, like sometimes I don't know what works for me, because I don't know, I had a lot of sarcastic humor. I still do. So as in, when something happens, it's like, giving yourself something. Like pehle to you used to give it with actual sarcasm, and now with a little bit of, I don't know, thing, as in it has to be pushed, it has to be poked. Yes, I want it. Yes, like, because if you just say it like, okay, हाँ वो भी मिल जाए, ये भी चला जाए, तो वो होता नहीं है. मतलब it needs more. At least I don't know, that's just my experience. It needs more of me in it. That could be more aggression, that could be more whatever wordings or wanting, but silence is one of the reasons why sometimes it feels very delayed and laid back. Yeah, that's
What you were sharing reminded me of that meditation, psychic flame, where you, as a ahuti, you are putting, just like you said, your sarcasm and everything, and that flames up the aspiration. That something in me is now ready to purify these defects or weaknesses. So
no, I
that,
actually, you are saying it very beautifully. What I meant was, I didn't mean sarcasm I put in the fire. I said I use whatever I have to fuel the aspiration, even if it's sarcasm, कि तेरे से इतना भी नहीं होता. Kind like whatever helps. अगर मैं sarcasm को अपने हर aspect में use कर रही हूँ, तो मैं इसमें क्यों ना यूज करूं, if that's what gets my attention is what I was saying, because you went to a lot of purification side where I was saying everyday thing. I realize it can be used to fuel that as well. Yeah.
आई थिंक मुझे बार बार यही लगता है कि मतलब द डॉग्स टेल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक दैट आई हैव, if not for the suffering I get when I follow the blind movement of the ego and the tendencies, I would not ask that, oh mother, purify me. I would not ask that.
Sorry, Monica, I couldn't hear you properly. Can you please repeat it again?
So I was sharing, Sardaji, that if not for the suffering I get when I follow my tendencies and the movements of ego, I would not be able to aspire that mother, purify me. It's only when I have suffered enough that I get convinced that purification is the best way to go. So
Yes. It's very true.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And yet the same tendency, say if I get angry easily, right? And if it's true anger, I must get angry with this as well, that why does my aspirations goes to the backseat. So I'm saying the same vritti can also now is finding, मतलब अगर वो नहीं जा रही तो ऐसा लगता है फिर इधर चैनल कर दो, kinds के one is violent with oneself, I don't know, with thoughts and all, then why not put it here also. इसमें तुम ऐसे साधु की तरह बैठ जाओगे and it doesn't work. मतलब उसका खाली नुकसान हो रहा है उसका. That can also be held in pushing towards that direction where you want to go, like
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
works.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I think that can very well be. Yeah. So as if we are using a tool in a wrong direction all the time, and now it can be just used in the proper direction, the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, a tool which I say should not be used, but if I'm unable to keep it down, so using it to something that I want to work towards as well, because that comes very naturally to me. तो वहां पे जाके एज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट इट कैन गेट प्योरिफाइड, वो तो हो, बट अगर मुझे दिख रहा है कि अब यही है तो मैं इसके साथ क्या करूं, बार बार यही आ रहा है, तो इफ इट कैन जेंटली चैनल इट टुवर्ड समथिंग, गुस्सा ही होना है तो इस चीज पे हो जाओ टाइम्स ना, मतलब थोड़ा लाइक आई नो इट्स नॉट idealistic is not what I am saying, I'm just talking about. Yeah,
मतलब गुस्सा नहीं छोड़ना.
exactly.
तो आप ये कह रहे हो कि क्योंकि अभी गुस्सा छूट नहीं रहा, तो चलो उधर मत करो, इधर करो गुस्सा. सही.
इधर भी यूज करो,
इधर भी यूज
मतलब ना कि
करो.
ऐसा क्यों है कि यहाँ नहीं करना है,
हाँ,
मतलब
हाँ.
इफ यू फील कि यू वांट परफेक्शन एट अदर प्लेसेस
या.
और उसके लिए यू आर मेकिंग एफर्ट, तो यहाँ भी क्यों नहीं करनी, मतलब एज एन being more accountable, right, to
या.
your own self with whatever tools you have right now, rather than saying ये तो खराब है ना, यहाँ पे ये नहीं चलेगा ना, मंदिर में तो वाइट कुर्ता और है ना काइंड वही चाहिए, तो जस्ट सेइंग
या. 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 मतलब गुस्सा नहीं छोड़ना.
छोड़ना है, बट आई एम सेइंग कि अगर वो मैस अप हो रहा है, सो या आई नो
या,
यू आर
या,
सेइंग,
kidding, kidding,
आई
just
नो.
pulling the leg.
यस, थैंक यू.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for sharing and thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.